last name Hanan. They're Moroccan. Large Moroccan community that came over here in the teens. They're part of that.
Two
Uh,
brothers?
Actually, two now is what you get at first, that they're the two younger brothers, and they talk about the third older one being dead. But as you
Mm.
push, you get the sense that the older brother actually is still alive with that role that you got. And eventually you'll be able to track back where the older brother, a guy named Badri, is. Be able to track back to sort of a central location
Mm.
and track him down and get a couple of interesting things about the Sundown Boys. One thing is that clearly what their edge is that they have contacts among the people that really helped build the city over the last 20 years. And they have access to a lot of tunnels
Mm.
and underground passages, ways to get into other places all around the city. You'll find yourself at one point in what's clearly the most secret part of their sort of organization and find a
Mm.
whole set of maps.
Maps?
Maps. Maps of the city, underground routes, locations, all sorts of diagrams. Clearly, they have people in the city planning board that they pay off.
Mm.
All kinds of information on that.
Can,
So,
can, can I kind of grab some maps? I mean, if they have so many, you know what? I'll do it.
okay. Do you want to
The-
take how many? So you've got a burglary edge right now, about four. How many of these maps do you want to take for how many neighborhoods?
I think I would focus really on the underground.
Okay. The underground of how many neighborhoods?
Let me see. Let me see. 4 points tomorrow. Great crop. Why don't we and the Crucible? Why don't we focus on kind of the middle and the east?
Okay.
So 4 points tomorrow. Crucible and
Okay.
Raycross.
I will say that that will use up your advantage there, and you'll be
Okay.
able to come away with a set of maps that show underground connections, essentially, and some not as easier as others, but you'll get a whole set of those and remove that from their care. So you have the
Right.
location of the main boss of the brothers, and you've got those maps. All right, I'm going to come next to Sharesh. What is that guy's plan?
Okay, so we are doing the public thing, right? I think we should have the team meet up with the government and the police so we know what we are dealing with in the city.
Okay, so you want to do kind of organize a conference there?
Yeah, something like a meet up everybody type of thing.
Okay, that seems reasonable there. Um, what is your approach to that going to be? Do you want to do this via your sort of contacts, or do you want to try and do this via deception? How do you want to approach that?
I guess I could use deception since I have more like, hey guys, we just want to work together and make this city a better place.
Okay, so it's
Does that
definitely
work?
trying to spin a line on them that conceals your true objective.
Yep.
Okay, um, so why don't you go ahead and make that deceive roll for me here? That is your highest skill. Play to your strengths. Oh, nice. Um, so we'll assume that there's kind of a move on the part after you guys do the press conference, that pressure that you put with the new sheriff in town that suggests that public officials that maybe wouldn't want to meet with you are interested in meeting with you. And you will meet with the mayor, the police commissioner, and definitely with the DA and get that impression across from them.
I
As you
will. Oh,
go on.
yeah. I'll take the initiative to shake their hand and welcome them into our group, the place where we're having our meeting. Just to does that work with my shapeshifter later on?
Okay.
Because it says it's touch activated. So now that I've touched them all, I can use them next time, right?
All right, absolutely. So you have the shapes of the district attorney, you have the shape of the mayor, and you have the shape of the police commissioner, as well as several others. Okay. So we use that as some of your advantage there. Okay. And if you had to sum up the impression that you wanted to get across to them in an aspect phrase, how would you describe that?
Um, we are just here to help.
Okay. All right. That seems reasonable. Okay. So we'll add that as another aspect we're going to tag up there. Let me tell you, as a deceiver, with your role, the person here who you get the weirdest read off of is the district attorney. The other guys, the mayor and the police commissioner, they're all liars. I mean, you know that. The district attorney is clearly a liar with a lot more to hide. His name is District Attorney Golden. And you get a really weird vibe off of him. He's clearly got stuff to conceal. He's talking a good line about being appreciative of having you guys there, but when you shake his hand, his palm is sweaty. There's that perspiration on his brow. He's nervous to be here. He's not sure what to make of you guys, and you have the sense that maybe he's even watching you closely. Maybe he's reporting back to somebody based on what he's seen here. So you will come away from that meeting both with a lot of more good publicity, but also a sense that the DA, he's in somebody's pocket.
Okay.
Okay. All
This
right.
is all crap. We should just take over.
Yeah. Anything else? Does that seem reasonable?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm done.
Johnny Summer. William.
Well, obviously, I am not the guy to sit down and read books and do research and reports and analyzing. That's just, I'll leave it that to the doctor there. I'm going to also the public face kind of thing, but I'm going to race around to various parts around the city to give a presence. You know, race there, stay there for a half hour, make a public appearance, go somewhere else. Kind of make our presence, especially the high crime areas.
Okay.
I wanna make sure that they see there's someone there doing something. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to case the joint, I guess, so to speak.
Okay.
Kind of see kind of patterns, see if I see any kind of this is a really heavy area, this is a hideout, that kind of thing. I'm just trying to get a general overview, more so than we had before.
Okay.
Maybe I can pin down more of where everyone is.
I think that seems like either an investigator or a notice role.
I was hoping for notice. Okay, that's good.
Since you're actually on the street doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good.
Big details. 4 Points is in bad shape. It has a lot of flooding going on there. Run down. It's like they tried to build it up, but they didn't quite get the infrastructure right. So that's the big one. Less crime than other areas, but still a lot of people nervous because there is the the mutant underground gangs, and that's kind of not spoken of openly, but it does worry people. Gray Cross is kind of under the thumb. People talk about the Sundown Boys a lot there. A lot more people carrying guns, bats, that kind of thing there. Certain amount of danger. Crucible, ethnic, a lot of ethnic neighborhoods, Chinese immigrants, Moroccan immigrants, Belgian immigrants, a lot of different groups all over that place, and packed in working class neighborhoods. People heading to work at the shipyards, dockyards there, and a lot of that kind of strong arm enforcement that goes on, extortion by the Throck Syndicate. Probably the most unusual thing is that you will definitely see that Tomorrow Way, while there's definitely police patrol presence, there's a lot of that security for Zinkman Industries. They have at least as much of a presence out on the street as the standard police do. And quiet, that sort of glowering that they do at people. People keep quiet when they're around. That definitely that sense that they are the real force in charge in that area. Those are the big things off of those areas. Does that seem like a reasonable set of information for you? Do you have any kind of follow up on that, or should I move?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, that gives me a lot of.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot to work with.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you guys want to reconvene and discuss group plans, or shall I move for another once around?
I think we should just make a plan of action here and get busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you want to do this? Let's assume we're a few days in here in this first week. You guys have gathered some information, meeting there in your base. You contact your agents are kind of out amongst the city, kind of hitting the pavement. How do you want to approach things? What do you want to target?
Well, at least we have maps of the underground, so that's a possibility that we could move around there quickly and without being seen. Let's just keep that in mind.
Definitely so. And I could case those underground areas pretty quickly. I think focusing on Grey Cross and Sundown might be the biggest, because they've got more weapons on the street. That's obviously going to be more crime, more shootings.
Right. I kind of agree. I think we need to pick a group and get to work. And I think the Sundown Boys is as good a place to start as any. I think either go after them or go after Zinkman, but we don't really have anything to put on Zinkman at this point.
Yeah.
The Sundown Boys are an obvious threat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a way to do research on, since the district attorney? If we all shared, I'm assuming we all shared everything we found.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that.
Kind of giving a little bit more background, maybe see if we can find out maybe what he has to hide, see his history, where he came from, that kind of thing. That is kind of like a research mode while we're working on taking care of Sundown Boys.
Okay.
Maybe we can get our agents to research that.
Okay. If you want to put the agents in play on that, we can do that to see what they can dig up. Essentially, task them particularly to.
Yeah, we have PIs, so
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody give me a fate roll for me.
Ooh.
Oh,
Somebody else.
Oh.
Somebody else.
Yeah, okay.
Reroll it.
Do you want to? So we'll essentially, if you want to use the the agents reroll. Go ahead and reroll. So we'll take a stress token on the agents.
All right.
A few of our PIs have gone missing.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
That's probably exactly what happened.
Asking
Okay.
too many questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the PIs was a dud. That
Yeah.
was the problem. After he vanished, it did much better.
So right now we're at this. Contacts are at 3 and agents are at 1. Here is what you will get is that the DA seems to be in the service of the Oriflamme group. That
Oh.
they will track him back, clandestine meetings up in Radium Heights, and it'd probably be the first time that you kind of get a description of the Oriflamme people, that they actually are in cowls, they have hoods on, they have a little flame symbol as well. They clearly have adopted some weird set of symbology, and the district attorney seems panicked when he's reporting in, giving information on you guys. And you will see that when this is what the agents will report back to you, is that the people from Oriflamme handed him off a packet afterwards, and it seemed to have some sort of drug of some kind in it, and the district attorney shot up with that after they met.
Did they, by any chance, take a photo of that transaction?
They didn't, because they would have needed a flash for the night stuff, but they've got. But that's the information that they will get you. That who's he's in bed with, and a suspicion that they're supplying him with some sort of narcotic. All right, so let me ask you this. You said Sundown Boys. How do you want to deal with them? You guys have a bunch of superpowers. You've got some resources. How do you want to do it?
Do we just start busting the little guys? You know, the minions, or do we go straight for their locate? You know, their main location.
But we know where their leadership is, right?
Yeah. Well, I
We
mean,
could,
Yeah.
it's kind of a
I mean, we
loose
could-
group.
we could accost some of the minions to get some information.
Can you clarify? There's two brothers, and then there's the third brother. Are they in the same location? And the third brother's just like we never see him, or is he in a different location?
Essentially, imagine that he's sort of holed up in an apartment upstairs, and the two brothers are kind of the public face on this building, and they're the ones that are out on the street. But your sense is definitely that they are taking orders from the older brother.
I think if we go in and just bust heads on minions, we'll attract their attention soon enough.
Yeah, maybe we don't want to deal with them in their own. We want to draw them out instead of dealing in their own base where
Well,
they
we
have the
could-
advantage.
We could plant. We could set up a fake job for them, like through a intermediary, to have them. You know, since they act as effectively mercenaries or muscle for hire, have them hire them to do like a bank robbery or something like that, and then take them out. But there's risks to that too, because if anyone finds out we're behind it, then we're gonna look really bad.
There is that.
Since we are taking the name of the Watchmen, how would the old Watchmen do it? Would they like go in loud or wait for them to act or something?
Old Watchman was very much a Batman-style figure. Go in the night, bust heads, um, wrap people up and deliver them to the police where there were outstanding warrants, that kind of thing. Mind you, there was kind of a revolving door, but at least would get them off the street for a time.
Do the Sundown Boys, do they deal in like narcotics? Are they selling drugs on the street, that kind of thing, or?
They're pretty modest on that side of things. Seems like drug
Okay.
trafficking's in other hands.
Okay.
We should just go in and bust heads.
Yeah, I don't think we have to have anything to fear with just going straight into their headquarters.
Yeah.
We're superheroes. We can do this.
So you guys
So-
want to go in kind of straight in, take down, now that you've uncovered where their base location is, go in and deal with them straight on that way? Okay.
I'm in favor of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Then
let's do it at night.
Okay.
Sneak in.
No. Just because the Watchmen would have done that.
All right.
And also you get someone when they're tired, they're asleep, they get dazed.
Okay. So let me have. I think we're going to kind of abstract this out. I know what the violence level of this faction is. And we're going to abstract it out here with you guys actually doing this. You're going to tell me what your primary skill that you're going to be using to do this. If it's going to be fight or shoot or something like that for busting these heads. Or something else. And we'll kind of go around and we're gonna kind of resolve it that way. Since this is more of an abstract activity for you guys taking them out, they aren't, a threat necessarily on your level. So, Chris, how do you want to approach this? When you guys go in, what's your thing?
I intend to use electricity to fry and incapacitate as many people as I can. Which
Okay.
is shoot.
Okay. Why don't you make a shoot roll for me there?
Right.
Ooh, nice. The minuses are killer, though.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and spend a fate point and invoke the idea that there's a new sheriff in town, because this
Okay.
is us proving it.
Well, you got a free invoke on that because you built that
Oh, that's
aspect.
right.
So
That's right, that's right.
we'll bump it up to a 4 on that.
Okay.
Okay. So you are going to take a stress box off of that. But you're going to be overcoming there.
Okay.
Dr. X, what's your plan there?
Um,
And I'll
I
kind of go
think
through this.
I'm going to use my physique. So rather than go in and punch or go in and shoot, I'm going to go in and pick up heavy things and throw them at people.
Okay.
Since it's
Sorry.
using.
Are we
and I'm
going in
using
one
my-
big group?
I'm assuming that you guys are probably swooping in different positions, different places, that kind of thing. But
Mhm.
you can feel free to, if you want to create an aspect for another player, you can certainly do that.
Well, and not trying to interrupt, but I'm just wondering because what I was thinking might be an asset for all of you guys, because I'm thinking go in there with some kind of flashbangs and just set them all off and then leave the room, kind of thing.
Oh.
So that way they're distracted and stunned for the rest of you guys.
Okay, do you want to do that as essentially to create an advantage?
Yeah, make it easier for the rest of you. Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, what do you think you want to roll that on? Does that seem like an athletics thing for running through and doing that?
I'm thinking athletics. Yeah.
Okay, let's have you make that roll. Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Wowzer.
All right,
Okay, that's a nice advantage for you guys.
So let's assume then we'll give you 3 free invokes on the flashbang there, and actually we'll say 4 because of the +4 there, because for all the margins. So Chris, we'll say that you actually get to invoke that as well on top of
Okay.
things. So don't have to worry about stress, and you will be taking guys, knocking them back and forth. Dr. X, why don't you make that physique roll?
Okay.
Oh my God.
And I'm invoking that extra of bestial aspect.
All right. So imagine that we've got, you know, electricity is shattering. The lights, the light bulbs explode. Their telephones go out as you guys come in. People are being shocked. Dr. X is running in. He's normally kind of a sedate, more contemplative doctor, but he's throwing tables and chairs around, flinging them back. While this is going on, what is the Shadow doing? How are you working through this?
Well, I mean, since I can walk through walls, it would make sense for me to come from an opposite direction and just go in there and just start busting heads,
Okay.
and cause more chaos.
All right.
Smack them around a little bit.
So
I mean, my fight is low, but
that seems reasonable. You've got some stuff to reference, though. So go ahead and make that roll for me.
all right, let's do this. Oh.
Do you want to do it as a re-roll or a +2?
What do I need to beat?
So
Or-
right now, straight up, their violence that you need to beat is a 3.
A 3. Okay. Well. Are there any floating advantages?
So you can invoke the flashbang as
Okay.
a free floating there. That'll be for free.
Okay, so let me invoke that as a +2, and I'm going to use. Can I use Invisible Infiltrator?
Sure.
You know, just coming, from the shadows, through the wall, and surprise attack.
Okay. So that'll be 1 fate point of your own plus the free invoke. Do you want to do both those as +2?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So that'll get you up to the 3 then. Okay, so we got that for that stress. We got that for that. And that for that. And finally we come to that guy.
All right. In between all the electricity and the stuff being thrown around, there would be some people dead, right?
There
Among
are
them?
probably at least unconscious, I would say. Unless you guys are going for killing strikes. That's entirely on your end of things.
Are you guys going for killing strikes?
I'm
No.
No. All right. I will.
I may not care, but I'm not trying to.
Okay.
All right. Since everybody is trying to make this clean, I will touch one of the unconscious people for shapeshifter
Okay.
and disguise myself as them and run up towards the leaders and just shout, "It's a raid! It's a raid!" Just to see what they do. Like maybe normally when people get caught off guard like that, they will try and secure the important things or delete information or stuff like that. So I just want to see what they're doing so I can like salvage it or try and steal it for ourselves later on.
That's interesting. Okay, why don't you make a deceive roll for me?
Okay, deceive. With my power, I get a +2 as well, right? The
Yep.
shapeshifter.
Oh my gosh. You will see that one of the sort of clearly the brothers who are in charge definitely goes and grabs a strong box and makes a break for it. And you will be able to, in the chaos of this, separate him away from that. Does that seem like a
Alright.
reasonable result?
Yep, sure, no problem.
Okay, that was
That's
clearly
kinda
the
what
thing he was told to get away with. and you will get that from him. Okay. So they've still got one stress box. So I am going to kind of deal an attack back to you guys. So you can resist this with physique or athletics. It's up to you guys how you wish to do that. Gosh, let me actually get my roll. I got to do the copy and paste on this.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the value you want to resist here. So if you want to roll either physique or athletics and get at least a 0.
Okay.
Oh,
Could I be attacked as well since I'm in disguise, or what?
well, I'm going to have you roll just for the chaos of the situation.
Alright.
It's just an abstraction, I guess.
Yeah.
Athletics, right?
Yep. Or physique, either one. Because essentially, imagine that you guys have rushed into this building, and the electricity is going off. Things are collapsing. People are pulling out gunfire is going off. Different places, the flashbangs. Everyone is blinded. The main brothers are trying to get out. You have the sense that they are the organization here. A good several dozen of these guys that were scattered throughout the building. It's just about on the edge here of collapse. How do you want to follow up then, Shockwave?
I think what I want to do is just issue a "that's right, you better run" type admonition.
Okay, like a provoke.
Yeah, provoke. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll that. So we've got an additional aspect there that can be invoked. How do you want to describe that?
Actually, yes. Yeah. Let's just call it "you better run."
Okay. So we've got that on there with significant weight to it. What about you, Doctor?
So I take it we've knocked down or knocked out a lot of the minions, or we
Yeah.
have them on the run.
There's chaos in this building. This is like a sixth-floor tenement that they've got set up kind of as a bunker. You guys have busted through doors. Johnny's run through, let off flashbangs that are going around. People have been firing off guns. You've been smashing through doors. They're completely in disarray right now.
I want to find either the brothers or the third brother.
Okay.
We can't lose sight of the head of the organization in the middle of all the minion chaos.
Okay. So let's have you make that physique
Nope.
roll to move through and essentially get him before he can get away.
Okay, so I think that extra helps me out here then.
Yep.
Because it's nimbleness and things like that. So I'm bounding over tables and chairs and scrambling after them.
Okay. They're at just a 1 right now. So you know that one of the brothers you saw go by, one of the sort of the less important ones did go by, and that guy was pursuing him. But you'll get another one of these brothers desperately running down the stairs, and you will do that sort of swing up through the staircase, grabbing onto things, and tackle him down and get a hold of him and get him locked down so that he cannot escape.
Okay, and I'm going to say, Johnny Summer, take out the boss!
And Johnny will follow on with you.
All right, got it. Have I seen him where he's at now? I guess by this point, since I'm all over the place.
Well, and
You
you
have a good idea at least.
Well, and actually, I assume that Phantom would have given you a sense of where he's located at.
Yeah, then I'm heading there.
Okay. Let's do this as a fight roll.
Okay.
He's kind of a named baddie there. He's heard the commotion. He's been getting his stuff together, desperately putting things in bags, going into the map room and realizing that all the maps are missing. Running back out, encountering you, and go ahead and make that.
And if I understand the power, I've got my fight is +3, and then the power gives me an additional +2 if I'm using super speed.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what I'm going to go in and do the typical attack him multiple times.
Okay.
Ooh.
You've still got the an invoke left on the flashbang. Do you want to use that?
Yeah, definitely can use that. Bump that up to, well, actually with 3 negatives, I probably should just re-roll it.
You're losing money not re-rolling it.
Yeah. And survey says
A little bit better there. So you will definitely knock him back into the wall, send the gun flying out of his hand. He's not nearly as tough as you would have expected. It actually looks like he's maybe been sick. That's why he's holed up here. But you'll kind of take him down. The main guys are down. There's still a few guys left fighting. What do you want to do, Phantom?
Couple of let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take out my gun and just kind of, since I have shoot, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and just tell him to, try to Oh, I don't have provoke. You know what? I'm just. So we have who's on the stairs?
We'll assume that right now Dr. X is on the stairs, pulling down one of the younger brothers. There are various goons around that are right now. If they're not stopped, they are going to run for it.
Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn invisible, and go to Dr. X and try to help him.
Okay.
Try to assist him.
So we'll assume that you will be able to get the other brother locked down.
Right.
Okay.
So
the two main guys are locked down right now, and essentially the goons are sort of running off. They haven't been completely destroyed in this situation, but the group has taken a lot of damage since you hit the head. What about you, Suresh?
So all the brothers are taken care of, right?
Looks like you could, if you wanted to, you could pursue the third brother that you got the strongbox from, or you could move back to secure the location.
I think we should just catch all the hits.
Okay.
Can I touch another unconscious person and say something like boss, this way," and try and lead him towards one of the heavy hitters?
Okay. That's yeah. Let's do that as a deceive action there. Kind of an attack based on deception.
So it's the same as just now, right?
Yep. So what will happen is you guys have the crackling electricity through here. You got the brothers locked down. The guys, the sort of the mooks that are on the ground are intimidated. A lot of them have run out. Some have run back in, and you. Suresh will lead this last brother back through stairs. Oh no, it's safe. Lead him in. You'll finally lead him back into the main room, where he'll come face to face with essentially Johnny's got a hold of the older brother. Dr. X, Bestial, has the younger brother, and then Shockwave is crackling with electricity. And there's that moment when he kind of realizes that it's up for him, and he will raise his hands in surrender. and you will be able to lock him down.
Right. I'd like to.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Before we drag these guys in, and the answer to this may be in the strong box, but I'd like to investigate the area for the incontrovertible proof of these guys' crimes, so that we can not only deliver the guys, but also deliver the smoking gun evidence.
Okay. Why don't you make that roll for me?
Oh,
Investigation.
Wah, wah.
You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, is there anything you want to invoke? You still there's one aspect still out on the table. The you'd better run aspect has not been used up.
Well, that doesn't seem to apply to this really, or I'd be reluctant to apply it to this. But what I can do is I'm going to spend a fate point
Okay.
and invoke, or not invoke, but this is a stunt called the Power of Deduction.
Okay.
So once per scene, I can spend a fate point on an investigate roll, and I've actually got to read to see exactly what it does, but it does something with investigating. And a few minutes of observation. Make a special investigate roll representing your potential deductive facilities. Each shift you make on this roll, you discover or create an aspect. So that doesn't really help me, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's more
since
of
the roll was poo.
right.
Okay, well, then I will spend the fate point to add 2 to that, invoking reason over force.
Okay. That seems reasonable to me. Literally. So you guys will go through here, and there is a lot of evidence, and a lot of evidence they didn't even have the time to burn. Transactions, logs, stolen goods, that kind of thing. Very much sort of cutting the head off. Most importantly to you with that 3 is a black book of payoffs to the police in this neighborhood that will give you some information on that. Number 2, essentially enough evidence to certainly make sure that these 3, they'll be through the court system for a while before they can buy their way out, and sort of lock them down. And probably the rest of the maps for the underground of the city. Does that seem like a reasonable set of rewards for that?
Sure.
Okay.
I think we keep the little black book, because that's not something we'd want to turn over to the police. Here's a record of your payoffs.
Right.
But so yeah, I think we leave these guys trussed up and hanging from the streetlights outside the police station at sunrise.
Okay.
And deliver the evidence to the DA's office by courier at the same time, along with a note.
That seems good. What you will get the sense is you guys will kind of clear out of there. There's a little tension in the area. These guys are locals. You guys are people that have come in. There's some tension on that, and some of the gang did get away. Not too many, but you certainly cut off the head of this organization, and the radio stations and the papers, everything will be talking about this, first thing tomorrow morning, with a lot of pressure put on the district attorney to make good on this. One of the things is it's going to be harder for them to essentially let them go because of the attention that you guys have brought to this, both coming in right away with the new sheriff in town and you're trussing up and displaying them as vocally as you have. Suresh.
Can we? Yeah.
I assume you wish to check the strong box.
Yep.
You will see that inside is actually a couple of odd things. One of them is actually a lot of gold. And there's some notes in there, clearly from the leader of the Sundown Boys, that suggest that he was wondering where this gold had come from, and he believes that it came from Oriflamme. That Oriflamme had some financial resources that it was using to buy people off. The other thing that you will get is clearly the Sundown Boys believed that they had found the location of the Watchmen's former base over there in Radium Heights, but they hadn't yet been able to get in there to kind of break in and raid it. So that's the other big thing that's there on the list.
All right, I'll just share it with the group.
Okay. And you guys will get that stuff together. We're about a halfway point here, so let's take maybe a 5-10 minute break for beverages, whatever. Does that seem reasonable?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, girl, no.
it's very hard, I think, to engage in the same way. I mean, I think it feels like it's a very quiet group that you're kind of having to pull along. But I think it's hard to engage in the same way through VoIP compared to being face to face at a table.
Well, yeah, one of the things is it's a little bit harder to do the kind of free exchange of the kind of scrimmage of ideas and planning that you get at the table with this kind of game. And I hadn't used this structure before, so I was curious about how it would work with doing it with VoIP.
Use the structure. What do you mean?
Well,
like using a sandbox or using
a sandbox where we put an operation out. There's the gathering of information and there's the carrying out of things.
Oh, okay.
Where it really does require more kind of everybody going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's this is clearly would make an awesome campaign, but I think this is a difficult one shot to run.
Oh yeah, no, The goal of this is to see how much damage you guys can do in 4 hours effectively.
Okay.
Oh, I think we're going too slow. We should go faster.
Yeah, right.
More things. By the time we're through, the whole city will just burn.
Well, it's funny because I ended up at Gen Con. I did a game which is supposed to be a 4-hour kind of a cyber ninja thing where they have an operation they're supposed to carry out and plan it, but it ended up getting condensed into a 2-hour block, and that was one of those times where I was just like boom, 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 and with absolutely no breaks between people's actions. So you guys are about 5-6 days in. Your arrival has been celebrated. People are talking about you, and it's on that 5th day that you do that raid on the Sundown Boys. Go in there, smash heads, and effectively take them out. A smart move for a couple of reasons. One, because they are the ones most likely to kind of do damage, and so you take a player out that other people can use. 2, they're not that neighborhood is not particularly one that people want to move into, so you don't create necessarily an immediate power vacuum. So that is kind of taken up. Your agents will report in that definitely after things were turned in that the DA kind of freaked out. That he clearly felt the pressure to move on things, but also clearly went back to Radium Heights to talk with people from Oriflamme to try and get marching orders. And after he does so, he comes back, he's a little more composed, and definitely talks about the need for cleaning up Science City and thanks the new Watchmen for their efforts and pushes that line.
I think if we are going after Oriflamme, we have to do something with the DA.
Well, or since the dots connect from the Sundown Boys to Oriflamme, it may make sense to go after them next, and maybe that will put enough pressure on the DA that we can get him replaced. Because he'll be in an impossible situation if we turn Oriflamme over to them. Also, I'm really worried about what Oriflamme is doing. I mean, they sound like they're trying to wake Cthulhu or something. I mean, they're walking around in their robes talking about star vampires and shit. I'm really concerned.
And they are in Radium Heights, which is also where the old hideout of Watchmen is. So, getting kind of concerned about that.
Do we want to hit that?
Well, I think we have to figure out what they're up to first, or I mean, what I don't know.
You want to split up?
Well, fair enough. Why don't we do another once around, so you guys can ask questions, do investigation, that kind of thing, and you can figure out how you want to head on to things. So, Chris, I'm not going to start with you because I hit you with number 1 on all those other ones, so I'm going to move over to the left. And I am going to start with Dr. X on this next round.
All right. I'm going to use my lore,
Okay.
and I'm trying to think how to apply it exactly. But uh, so lore is just sort of what I know about the world
Lore
generally.
is that it's general worldly knowledge. It's all of those skills uh, outside of. Uh, Imagine that it actually covers science in a lot of ways.
Okay. Okay.
Whereas crafts is engineering, lore includes science and that stuff, and any of those kind of knowledge skills.
Okay. Then that's probably not the right skill. I think it's investigate again, but essentially, I'm digging for who is Oriflamme and what are their objectives.
Okay, let's have you make that roll.
All right.
Okay. So your first question is who is Oriflamme?
Or who are Oriflamme?
Oriflamme. So they clearly. So Oriflamme appeared about 4 years ago. Perhaps a year after the Watchmen vanished, and they moved in very quickly on the criminals that were operating up in Radium Heights, and in particular, there was a more organized group known as Hearthog, and will essentially Oriflamme moved in over the course of just a couple of weeks and took out the existing criminal network quickly, surgically, smartly, and then put themselves in place. In terms of activities, what they're involved in, it looks like they're involved in smuggling. It looks like they're involved in money laundering. And they definitely have a lot of agents. They're hiring smarter people, maybe a little bit higher quality of mook. You might actually call them henchmen rather than just mooks. And they've definitely got kind of a uniform to them. They aren't just street gangsters. They clearly want to be more. Does that seem like a reasonable answer to that question?
Sure.
Okay. What's your second question?
Um, what? I guess where I was going with what are their objectives is there any kind of occult connection? Are they up to anything weird and occult because they sound like it?
That's a good question. Yes. In some ways, they have there are a couple of named people who are associated with Oriflamme, and in particular, there's kind of a Svengali / Rasputin kind of guy who operates at a high mark. A guy named Dr. Davian, and he has organized kind of a group of high socialite, sort of occult and Masonic style people. It does feel to you very much like a scam, that they're using this to kind of create obligations in people and prey on people's superstitions, but also to create an atmosphere of fear. You have a pretty good lore skill, right?
Yeah.
So your sense is very much that all the bits and pieces that they're using is cobbled together, not a legitimate set of beliefs, but more kind of a carefully constructed cult to draw people in.
Okay, so I mean, they did the build a cult from a kit.
Yes.
Okay.
You have one more question.
What can we nail them on?
In terms of the activity that they're most vulnerable on, in terms of catching people at the act, probably smuggling operations is probably the weakest link for them.
Is that mostly by ship?
Yeah, because it does require physical presence and moving of goods and so on. It's the one place where the henchmen could be caught and potentially grabbed up. Okay. Richard,
Yes, sir.
what is your plan in this next stage of the operations?
You know, that base really has me interested. I'm gonna ask you guys, how about the base? Do I hit it? Do we know where it is? Do we know the exact location?
So
Or do we?
they have a set of notes there from the strong box that guy got that indicate probable location. So
Okay.
maybe not exact, but probable.
I'm gonna probably kind of sneak around that area, probably at night. Using my powers, stealthily look around and see what I can find.
Okay.
And
That's going to be an investigation roll.
okay. Um, okay. 3.
So I'm going to give you a couple of things, and I'm going to let you ask a question. One is you'll be able to go through the places that they suspect it might be at and narrow it down to a location, essentially close by the water. You have the sense that there must be some underwater access way. There's some things that indicate venting, that kind of thing. And in a way that suggests to you that perhaps this, if there is a base here, it might actually still be in operation. And now I'll let you ask a question.
So you say that there's a base that could still be in operation, meaning maybe the vents or I don't know, heat coming out of the vents or something
Exactly.
like that. Um,
Like there are some holes up here that look like natural cavern holes, but when you go check them, there's warm air coming up that seems to you like it's venting out from a cooling of some sort.
hmm. Do I see any suspicious activity? Any? So it's by the water. So any fishermen or uh, pleasure cruises around that area that kind of you know goes behind a rock and disappears, or just something out of place. Anything?
Yeah, there is offshore, parked a ways offshore. There is a vessel. You're over here in the area that's more sort of regattas and yachts and things,
Mhm,
and this looks more like a kind of a shipping vessel that's offshore. And it's
mhm.
kind of unusual that it's parked out there.
Okay. I'm sorry. And where is that? Is that towards
So
Highmark?
imagine that we're up here in Radium Heights. Actually, I'll give you a little dot.
Ah, I see. Radiant Nice. All right.
Okay.
I will bring this to the group.
All
All
right.
this information.
All right. That guy.
All right. I guess after our first act as superheroes in the city was so successful, I am going to use my rumor monger to place pressure on the police force to clean up their act and just be more effective.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah. Let's see what we want to. That looks like that'll be. Let's see how we want to play that. So rumor monger is merely about placing vicious rumors. So you might want to consider how you want to rephrase that, or tell me how the vicious rumors are going to push the police.
Right. We have evidence that the police is on the take, so we can spread the rumor that maybe they took this long to just ignore this Sundance because they are on the take.
Okay. So a little
But
bit
we
of
won't.
okay.
Yeah, but we won't show the black book yet.
Okay. Why don't you make
just a rumor.
let's see. So for that one, you'll get the +2. Let's use your contacts for that. Roll contacts with the +2 for the rumor monger.
I think I shall reroll. What aspects do we have?
The one that hasn't been invoked yet is the just here to help.
Yeah, I'll use that.
Okay.
Because we are making a comparison with what we do in the police.
Okay. Fate dice are the most unkind dice of all.
They really are.
Oh!
There you go.
Nice.
So you will definitely put pressure. Within a couple of days, you guys will get reports back that the commissioner has pulled the chiefs from each of the precincts in and has tuned them out, and has made it clear that until these jackass superheroes leave, they need to clean up their act, and eventually somebody's going to do something about these guys and eliminate them. But until then, the public is on their side. We've got to do this. There are rumors, they're people that maybe the Sundown Boys talked, or maybe they give information. So there's definitely that general feeling across the board that they have to be especially careful. That has to be kept under wraps, or at least hidden better than it has been. So that would be strongly effective, and that will go with a 6 that will go all the way across the city.
Nice.
All right, Johnny.
I think in these instances, my best thing is probably recon. I'm really interested in that boat that seems out of place in a sea of yachts, as well as kind of casing the Oriflame's location, getting a feel for weak spots.
Okay.
Anticipating we use. So kind of both. I don't know if I can accomplish both.
Well,
just
let's have you make that. This will be an investigate roll for this one.
Ooh, not very good. But we will see.
You got fate points. It's all good.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Famous last words.
Ooh.
Is that your final answer?
No.
Have we had any compels?
I haven't had to hit you with compels yet.
Wow.
Just so I can risk-taking blur. Maybe I pushed myself a little bit too close investigating some of these. I don't know if that's kind of going between that and the trouble.
Okay.
Just really trying to, because I know we got to make the step. We've got to really look into these guys, and so I've got to find out some weaknesses to their both locations.
So you're spending that for the +2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd probably be the better chance.
Okay. So with a 3, it's harder to get a real sense of where Oriflamme is working because you're moving around outside. You're a blur moving throughout the night, flash from the recent show, and they seem to be high class crime behind closed doors, that kind of thing. But you will definitely see as you're casing this out and keeping keeping quiet, that the next night you will see frogmen moving stuff off that boat into the water, and you have the sense that they are maybe moving it underwater and then into whatever this base is. And you will definitely get a sense of that. And with the 3, you will probably spot at least one person bearing the markings of Oriflamme. Essentially, see somebody with the hood on with the mark on them. That